Hello, my name is Attila Burry, and for my History of War Battle video, I will be covering the Battle of Hannut in 1940. On January 30th of 1933, Adolf Hitler had been appointed to power as the German Chancellor. Before being appointed in the 1920s, Germany went through an economic depression due to the First World War. German citizens during this era endured poverty, unemployment, and hunger. Hitler promised to fix the current economic crisis and bring Germany back to the world power that it had been before. Hitler's plan was to exterminate the Jewish and inferior races, thus creating the perfect or Aryan race. Then, on September 1st, 1939, Adolf Hitler orders the Nazi army to conduct its first invasion of the war, taking place in Poland. The Battle of Hannut took place from May 12th to May 14th, 1940, during the Battle of Belgium. The Nazi army had hopes of invading neutral countries such as Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg to be able to have a better attacking route into France and the United Kingdom. Erich Hoppner led the Nazi army, while René Perot led the French and Belgium army. The strategy devised by the German officer Erich von Manstein was classified as Fallgelb, which called for three army groups, A, B, and C. Group B called for German armed forces to make its way into Belgium territory. Here, Allied forces attempted to intercept the Nazi army and put a halt against the German hopes of advancing into France. Ultimately, the Allied forces were defeated and the Nazi army continued its passageway into France. The Battle of Hannut happened to be the largest tank battle in history at the time, and led to the further capture of hundreds of thousands of Jews. You might be wondering why I'm dressed in a hot dog costume, but that's besides the point. Let me take you through the key aspects of war that we see within the Battle of Hannut. In preparation for the invasion of Poland, Nazi officers and generals devised a war tactic that would be known as blitzkrieg. This translates to lightning war. Although it was most famously used by the Nazis during World War II, this is a warfare strategy that predates to the 19th century. According to the Britannica Dictionary, blitzkrieg can be defined as the military tactic calculated to create psychological shock and resultant disorganization in enemy forces through the employment of surprise, speed, and superiority in material or firepower. This military strategy was used during the Battle of Hannut and was one of the key aspects as to why the Germans were more than able to occupy the country. Fallgelb. Operation Fallgelb was developed by General Erich von Manstein. This war strategy, as it pertains to Belgium and France, called for a diversion by two different army groups, A and B. Army Group B would make its way into Belgium, which would draw in the Allied forces of Britain and France. Here, the Battle of Hannut would take place. The Allied groups were basically baited into ordering troops into Belgium for militaristic assistance. But while they did so, Army Group A would push into the Ardennes region in France. Then, after taking the northern portion of France, the Nazi army made its way across the coastline. The Battle of Hannut was known for being the largest tank battle in history at the time. The Panzer IV, also known as the Workhorse, was a tank commonly used by the Germans throughout World War II. 8 5.53 Panzer IVs were built throughout the entirety of the war and was originally designed for infantry support. The tank had a 75mm gun that fired at a rapid rate and was very reliable to the Nazis. Moving on to a philosophy that I believe that the Germans in World War II could mostly relate to. Karl von Clausewitz was a Prussian general and military theorist who focused on explaining the causes and justifications for war. Clausewitz's absolute war theory relates to the mindset that the Germans had during the militaristic conquests. According to Clausewitz, absolute war is a strictly philosophical concept, an abstraction on the analogy of the
Kantian Ding an sich. In its purely military essence, war is a struggle fought with all available means until one side is unable to offer any further resistance. Two rational creatures locked in combat both realize that the victory will go to whichever exerts the most effort. Thus, a continual escalation of force follows until one is completely vanquished. We see this in the Battle of Hannut from both sides of the war. The Allied armies wanted to make sure that the Nazis did not take control over Belgium and the Netherlands because of the geographical advantage that the countries have over the other. Both armies threw everything except the kitchen sink during various battles within Belgium. Along with this, it is well known that Hitler and the Nazis had Clausewitz's theories of using politics as the continuation of war and justifying what had been done. Clausewitz created a formula within the concepts of policy and war.